Alright. Oh! 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 Did we get them? All the Agarians? They don't exist anymore! Yes! Finally! They're gone! The freaking monkeys. Alright. Create a new subtemplate. Delete everything that could ever possibly be construed as good. Delicious. Nerve stapled. Template. Come on, you can show up. Apply this template to everything that exists ever.
Our situation log is updated.
And here we go. It's glorious, beautiful place that I could possibly be. I could apply it to you, then I could apply it to you, and I won't have to care anymore. You guys can shut up about rebelling, being unrested, because you won't even think anymore. You'll just be being put on a silver platter from me. I'll be so, so happy. Anyway. Further on down we go. What else is there? A boat a bucket load of planets that I don't think I've ever heard of. A bunch of stations that have never seen combat but are just prepared just in case.
Our construction is complete.
Easily afforded. One must wonder how inefficient this empire actually is. Like if an actual late game Stellaris player popped in here and just saw this. Or would they just not care? Be like, you know what? You do you, man. This is a good empire. Nonetheless. Or why do you have all these substations and stub bases? And I would just look at him and shrug, because even I don't know. Okay. Bunch of these. So, Rakarus, Thundering, Ravaging. You have a unique objective. They're attached to a gateway network. You go here. You go here. You go here. As a part of the original 3, and you know what? Sure, we wanted 4, we're getting 4. Teaming also go in. All of you, get ready. You're gonna be in the gateway. Rushing, you're fine. You can rush in through the south.
Our construction
Combat
is complete.
Swarm 07.
We have claimed a new nest.
Get over here. Stalking. 2 going down south is fine, but we also have a huge bulk of the fighting that will be done here. Stalking, Devastating, and Pestilent. Make your way over to this point. Ceaseless. You're going to the right place. And you'll be joined by one of the other youngest combat fleets, one that I don't think has ever seen action as of yet. You'll be joined by Combat Swarm 5. And the one that's right after it. Oh no, that is just Combat Swarm.
We have adapted a species to suit our needs.
Who doesn't even have a general or admiral yet. Cautious and erudite. Well, it's like every one of them's cautious and erudite, so you know what? Sure, let's do this.
Our construction is complete.
We are finally at our end game. What are we full on? We are full on food. You're full on a lot of things. Let me fix this. Bye, bye. Bye, bye, bye. Bye, 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 bye.
Our construction is complete. Our construction is complete. Our construction is complete.
Are we overstocked in consumer goods? No, we are not. Alright. But all our combat swarms and combat fleets are actually moving in. We really don't need to defend ourselves, because they have one gateway as their way in and out of their own empire.
Our construction is complete.
It's connected to the greater gateway network. But if they go to any one of those, it's just going to hit them up with a space station that will
Our construction is complete.
that we are getting attacked. Alright, get all this out of the way. We're going back to species.
Our construction is complete.
So nice to just watch them all disappear. Apply this template to all the fungaloids.
Our situation log is updated.
Finally get rid of the random stuff that we do not need to deal with. Nestor, Nestor, Nestor. Another habitable section. I would like you to colonize right here. Get back off. All the combat swarms are moving. All the fleets are arriving. And I think even the Tebrid homologs, as unthinking and unchanging machines as they are, I think even they realize what's bound to happen. They've been preparing for this war. They saw us as the threat when we first started bursting out of our little hovel, a little home in the north, and have expanded so that our maw reaches across the entire galaxy. And they're one of the few who's trying to prepare to stop us. But no,
Our construction is
that's
complete.
not happening. They know they can't stop us anymore. Their calculations are all coming up as 0 equals 1, or something else arbitrary and benign. They're understanding that they're doomed. Biologically, we are superior to even any
We have
other
adapted our species to suit our needs.
These species that we have in our domain are all useless to them. Even if they did win, there's nothing left. And we will show this to them. So let us create a new template. You and you. Create this, and we'll continue to purge our undesirables this way, so that they are no longer sapient or aware of what goes on.
Our
There's a lot
situation
more
log is
that we have to
updated.
remove. But, you know what? All this humanoid cattle. Can you think about it? Let's think about it this way. Fleeing galactic
We
devastation
have claimed a new nest.
from another galaxy entirely, you arrive, but you find the strangest thing. Hundreds of thousands of people, but none of them are moving. They're kind of just sitting there, gently grazing some easily acquirable food. And, well, nothing's happening to them. And they just slowly disappear into the bowels of the planet itself. Of some unsung
Our
will,
construction is complete.
cracking open the planet's surface using whatever means they have necessary. Or they must find a home here. They find the entire subsurface of the planet is alive. It's teeming, growing, shifting, the masses crawling up the walls and consuming those that are tossed into the pit. While the brainier ones amongst them simply have food brought to them. The drones themselves don't really matter, nor care. They are all being eaten in the end.
Our construction is complete.
Galaxy-spanning hive mind. One that's managing them quite well, all things considered.
Our construction is complete.
Sure, there's a lot of deviancy, there's a lot of rebellion, but who cares about that? Everyone's fed, everyone's full, focused, and happy. For those who
Our
can,
construction is complete.
Anyway, traditions and relics, reverse engineer arcane technology. Research speed 10% for
Our
6
construction
months.
is complete.
I can't hate it. I wish it were Fallen Empire tech, but I guess everything can't be Fallen Empire tech.
We have adapted a species to suit our needs.
Alright, more species have fallen prey to us. And now I have to apply this template to the ludicrous number of species that are spread out across the entire galaxy.
Our situation log is
Again,
updated.
it's really hard to get these guys to be properly nerf stapled. What else do we have to do here? We do care because there's a lot of them that outnumber the nerf stapled. None of you are nerf stapled at all, so you need to be
Our
fixed.
construction is complete.
There are a lot non-nerf staples, so you need to be fixed. I could care less about this group at this point. This uplifted species definitely does need to be fixed. I could care less about you. You're a robot. You're Hazar. It's been forever since I've seen you, but you could be livestocked easily. Yeah, after Hazar, I could kind of stop caring. Most of them are too small to actually do proper rebellions. And the fleets are slowly arriving. As was ordained, as was planned, the fleets are getting into their position. About another year, but it's a year well spent. And before I forget, continue your upgrades. Now, who are you again, and why do I care? Oh, that's right, I was planning on modifying you into a nice defense station.
I wonder, is there any way for them to escape the galaxy? I doubt it.
So, you know what? I'm curious. I haven't looked at a dev diary in forever. So, we don't have a lot of things to do. Look up the dev diaries of Stellaris. Because there's a, 115? Origins? Yes, you're good with cookies.
We have adapted a species to suit our needs. Our construction is complete.
No, I don't care about my transport fleets right now. Silence. Sorry, let me check out the species real quick. Who was next on the chopping block? You were next on the chopping block. Alari!
Our construction is complete.
Why can't you people just...
Our situation log is
just
updated.
cease to breed, or better yet, just breed the livestock? Give you a wondrous template, and here we are. A lot of cool new things, which will be revealed at ParadoxCon. They want to show us. Back in Utopia, we introduced a lot of new features, how you can customize a specialized empire. Civics were a great addition to the game, but they're split between backgrounds like syncretic evolution and institutions. They've added a lot of cool options, but they wanted to expand upon this, so they are splitting some civics off into origins of your empire. And those cannot be changed. The origins are going to cause genetic and or ethics changes to the empire. And it's also going to make a lot more customizability.
We have adapted a species to suit our needs.
Wow, we are flying through those species modifications.
Our construction is complete.
You all... No, I'm not applying a template. No, 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 New template, delete everything, rebuild you, make you better, because there's only one purpose that you can serve. Why am I doing my fake German accent again? This isn't even German. What is this accent?
Our situation log
What
is
is the accent?
updated.
I've kind of lost it at this point. What? Don't care about species mods. You know, I could just keep looking at the
Our
Tebrids.
construction is complete.
Okay, so from what I see it is they're adding more starting stuff or more starting features, which of course is going to break the game in two the moment it's released.
We have adapted a species to suit our
That's
needs.
Paradox. If they didn't slowly over time make the game more complicated and thus more easily broken, I would not respect them as a game developer. I'm actually really happy that they make the games more complicated as time goes on, not as a barrier for entry, but it makes veterans have a lot of fun with these games. And Origins, they're not complicated in theory, but in practice, just the fact that it allows you to have more customization and more set up starting points, and it feels like a natural increase or expansion on these sorts of things seem interesting, because no one gets into Hearts of Iron 4 without either a friend or watching people play Hearts of Iron, and then learning how the game works from there. I think this game is becoming faster, actually, now that I'm deleting pops, or deleting sub-groups of pops and slowly fixing up the planets so they stop sucking. Will to Power has ended, but we'll be able to get Will to Power soon enough to get our full influence going yet again. So Transport Fleet 2 is almost finished. Another Transport Fleet should be going in from this side. Speaking of which, how are you guys actually doing? We're handling your troop production. I should say, how many more troops are you making? You got one more batch, and then there'll be another batch of 6.
Our construction is complete.
I guess after you can...
Our construction is complete.
After we've already cracked the top half, which the top half of the Tebrids don't... I'm not lying about this. Top half of the Tebrids are the ones that are actually scary. Everything else, I couldn't care less. I was building defensive stations.
Our construction is
about getting
complete.
done with your ion cannons. There's no defensive station here, but I guess the best defense is a good offense. No defensive station here, but there's a single line, so they'd have to get through us anyway. And then, basically at the start of the war, we're just going to immediately jump gate in. Which, speaking of which, we have 4 fleets that are supposed to be here. There's you. You're jumping through. You're going in... Yeah, because no, you're our best, so you're going in the most dangerous section, because I know you'll survive. And then our newest fleet, not to be outdone. Go back down. Idrisim, I don't even know who you are. I just know that you are not as helpful as one would assume. So we should have 4 sections of transport fleets. Yeah, we are filling up, and we are filling up fast. So you are going to take all of these, merge them into the 3rd Grand Army of our glorious hive mind.
Our construction is complete.
And I will literally recruit a new general. What do I wish to recruit? Restrained seems useless. Logistan's, like, alright, I guess. Army morale is not gonna matter. All Logistans. We'll take the disengagement chance just to make sure our army survives. Because knowing these guys are actually gonna have good soldiers.
And the good soldiers are what's going to disturb me. Because we can wipe out the fleets all we want. If they have good soldiers, we can't take planets. We can't take planets, we can't take the Tebrids, we can't take the Tebrids, we lose. That's the one lose condition we have here, is our ground forces
Simply aren't up to snuff.
Our construction is
The other
complete.
lose condition is that I faff about for so long that by the time we can actually get some actual research done and we're not modifying species, our leaders start dying of old age. You're 250. We have 30 years in-game before you start having a chance of dying. Do you have anyone who just has leader lifespan? I doubt it. I don't ever recruit for leader lifespan. I somehow end up with like one or two of them. Oh yeah, we're getting level 10 governors. I forget that level 10 governors are amazing. Like, crime? What crime?
Our construction is complete.
These guys are running a literal super jail. Literal
Our construction is complete.
Oh yeah. The Hulk Hogan oh yeah reminds me of something glorious from my childhood.
Our construction is complete.
There used to be an
Our construction
animation
is complete.
done by a guy named Alvin Earthworm, who went by Alvin Earthworm. And he had a glorious concept of porting the Dragon Ball Z style fights into Super Mario Bros. Mixed with Sonic. Now, anything mixing with Sonic evokes thoughts of cringe. But this is when Sonic was actually cool, kind of. At least, it was the old style of Sonic games where it was platformer plus go fast. No other real story beyond it. And so, he stopped it right at a plot twist-y section. When I last remember, it was... What was his name? Dr. Robotnik / Eggman. Whatever they're calling him now. I know they love to call him... I know people call him Eggman. But
Our construction is complete.
The plot twist was that he was still alive and actually there when he wasn't there for the first entire section of the series. I'm depressed that it was never picked back up, and I genuinely wish he would one day. Just to complete what was altogether a wonderful and beautiful animation, which, even by today's standards, as far as 2D animations go,
Our
I just kind
construction
of
is
see a
complete.
throwback animation, really. Who knows, with the resurgence of Newgrounds for something other than Rule 34, maybe.
Our construction is complete.
I think the creator expressed interest in continuing. Oh, right, willpower. Back on track. No, I don't. We never do defensive wars, and home territory fire rates.
Our construction is
Well-
complete.
Actually, hold it. So, Desperate Measures, 15 years. Home territory fire rate. With the way our combat works, we take over whatever territory we encounter almost instantly. So, if I activated a Unity ambition and activated Desperate Measures and was fighting
construction is complete.
conquered territory, the Tebrids when they send their war fleet in, do I get a 40% fire rate boost? I don't know, but that might
Our
actually
construction
be
is complete.
ridiculously good with Devouring Swarms, if you're fighting over anything that's not a planet.
Anyway, how big? So, okay. We're gonna take a look at their capital. Capital's what's gonna matter. We're not gonna look at Empire Sprawl, because Empire Sprawl is not worth getting fussed up over. We can't fix it. It's impossible. So, where's your capital? Your capital is here. I said your capital is here. $21K Federation fleet. That's depressing. How are your armies looking? You've got... Okay, never mind. You've got like 1,000 on your capital. I doubt you're going to have much more. At least, I don't think you're going to have enough to actually slow me down. Oh yeah, we should continue going through and making sure no one rebels ever again. We're going to apply the delicious template to everything here to merge templates. No
Our
reason to
situation log is
single thing
updated.
problems. How dare you? Keep going. We need to double activate it. I want you to triple activate it. I want to see 25% plus 25% plus 25%. If it's stacked at if it's stacked multiplicatively, you basically divide it by 2 each time. So it'd be 37%. Half of that again would be 40-ish percent boost. It's not very good. No, wouldn't it go in reverse? I don't remember how to do multiplication involving percentages.
It'd be like, what, 1.25 times 1.25 times 1.25? Which would be much bigger than 40%, I'll admit. BrainBoy's a little bit silly in the head when he thinks that, but I can't be arsed to do math right now.
We have adapted a species to suit our needs.
All I know, we have a lot of species here who still think they're worthy of rebellion. And I just want to let them know that their window is closing. Why are there like 28 subspecies of this one person? I know it's like 8, actually. But why?
Our situation log is updated.
What's the point? And yes, I am going through the trouble of actually live-stocking this group just so this screen is less obnoxious.
Our construction is complete.
I was just taking a look at the robot traits. It's always interesting looking at robotic traits, but I don't play robots that often.
The fact that your energy is what they hit the most, which I usually use to spend on terraforming and everything. I mean, sure, they produce a lot of energy, but I just can't be bothered.
Anyway.
Our construction is complete.
Can combine. But this transport fleet, you have your objective. Make your way down here. It shouldn't take you nearly as long as some of the other fleets as they're moving in.
We have adapted a species to suit our needs.
But it's enough for me to care. Anyway, who is amongst all our combat fleets, which are up, amongst all our combat fleets, who is still moving? You are still moving, it is still going to be 70 days. You are still moving, it's all over 100. You are still moving, it's over 200. Dreadnought's just following this swarm because we still can't get the command limit boost, so we can actually add the Dreadnought into one of our fleets, making it the actual flagship we've been waiting for.
Our construction is complete.
A lot of construction is complete, but have you considered how the construction feels? Thank you, everyone. I'll be here all week. What are you doing again? Where's Mears? Right, Mears is right there.